You ever reach the end of the month and think, how did it disappear that fast? Not in a dramatic way, just quietly. The paycheck came in. You paid what needed to be paid. You tried to be responsible. And yet somehow, you're back to watching the calendar, waiting. You tell yourself next month will be different. You'll track your spending. You'll be more disciplined. You'll finally get ahead. But then next month feels exactly like the last one. If that cycle sounds familiar, this isn't about you lacking willpower, and it's not about you being bad with money. Most people aren't reckless. They're just running on financial autopilot. And autopilot almost always leads back to zero. That's where the 30-day money reset challenge comes in, not as a punishment, not as an extreme no-spend month, but as a psychological interruption. Because before you change your income, your investments, or your long-term plans, you have to change your awareness. Most people don't actually know where their money goes. They have a rough idea. Rent, utilities, groceries, maybe some subscriptions. But the small leaks, the convenience spending, the emotional purchases after a long day, those don't feel significant in the moment. Individually, they aren't. But collectively, they define your month. The first part of this reset is simple. Notice everything. For 30 days, every dollar that leaves your account gets acknowledged. Not judged, not shamed, just seen. You don't need a complex spreadsheet. You don't need financial software. You just need to write it down or check it daily. When you bring spending into the light, it stops being invisible, and that alone changes behavior. Here's something fascinating about psychology. When humans are observed, even by themselves, they behave differently. The moment you know you'll have to write something down, you pause. You ask, do I really want this? That pause is powerful. The second part of the reset is what I call no upgrades for 30 days. Not no spending, not no living, just no upgrades. You still buy groceries, but maybe not the premium versions. You still replace something if it breaks, but you don't automatically choose the better, faster, newer option because lifestyle inflation is quiet. It sneaks in. A slightly better apartment, a slightly newer car, more delivery because you're busy. None of it feels irresponsible. It feels deserved. But if your expenses rise every time your income rises, you'll always feel tight. The reset forces you to stabilize your standard of living for 1 month, just long enough to ask yourself, do I actually need this level, or did I just drift into it? That question alone can save thousands over time. Now, here's where most people struggle. Friction. We've built our financial lives to be frictionless. One-click purchases, auto-renewing subscriptions, tap to pay. Everything is designed to make spending effortless. During the reset, you intentionally add friction. Before buying something non-essential, you wait 48 hours. Before tapping your card, you check your balance. Before renewing a subscription, you ask if you've used it recently. You're not eliminating joy. You're interrupting impulse. Because impulse spending isn't about greed. It's about emotion, stress, boredom, comparison, reward. When you slow down the transaction, you give your rational brain time to catch up with your emotional brain. And that's when change happens. Around week 2, you'll probably feel resistance. You'll think, this is too strict, even though nothing extreme is happening. That discomfort is your old pattern pushing back. You're used to instant relief through spending. Now you're choosing awareness instead. Stay with it. The third layer of the reset is building a buffer. Not 3 months of expenses, not financial independence, just a small cushion. Maybe it's $300, maybe it's $500. Whatever is realistic. This buffer is not for investing. It's not for optimizing. It's for breathing. When you live paycheck to paycheck, the real stress isn't numbers. It's unpredictability. One surprise expense can ruin your entire month. That keeps your nervous system on edge. But when you know there's even a small cushion waiting, something shifts internally. You're calmer, you're less reactive, you're more patient, and patience leads to better decisions. Here's the deeper truth. The 30-day money reset isn't about money alone. It's about identity. Most people secretly carry a belief, I'm just bad with money. They don't say it out loud, but they feel it. And when you believe that about yourself, you act in ways that confirm it. This reset challenges that identity. For 30 days, you prove to yourself that you can track, you can pause, you can choose differently. You're not chaotic, you're capable. That internal shift is more valuable than any single dollar saved. By the end of the month, you'll have data, real numbers, clear patterns. You'll know your true fixed expenses. You'll see where emotion influences spending. You'll understand which areas are flexible and which aren't. And now you're making decisions from clarity instead of anxiety. Maybe you realize your rent is stretching you too thin. That's not a failure, it's information. Maybe you see that eating out costs more than you thought. Again, not shame, just awareness. From there, you make targeted adjustments. Not extreme ones, just intentional ones. Maybe you permanently reduce one expense category by 20%. Maybe you automate a small transfer to savings every payday. Maybe you cancel 2 subscriptions you barely use. These aren't dramatic moves, but consistency beats drama. Here's something people don't talk about enough. Financial stability compounds, not just through interest, but through behavior. When you end one month with even a small surplus, the next month feels different. You're not starting from zero, you're starting from slightly ahead. That changes your posture. You're not desperate for the next paycheck. You're managing from a position of small strength, and small strength grows. The goal isn't to never enjoy your money. It's to stop feeling owned by your expenses. The goal isn't to eliminate fun. It's to eliminate constant tension. After 30 days, you don't go back to normal. You choose which habits were powerful and keep them. Maybe it's the 4 8-hour rule. Maybe it's checking your balance daily. Maybe it's maintaining that buffer as non-negotiable. You don't need to keep everything, just enough to protect margin, because margin is the real prize here. Margin between income and spending, margin between impulse and decision, margin between stress and calm. A 30-day reset won't make you rich, but it will make you aware. And awareness is the foundation of every sustainable financial change. If you've been feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or quietly embarrassed about your money situation, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not incapable. You might just be operating on autopilot in a system designed to keep you consuming. 30 days is long enough to interrupt that pattern. So if next month is coming either way, you have a choice. Let it repeat the old pattern, or let it reset it. 1 month, 1 buffer, 1 intentional shift. That's how momentum changes. Quietly, deliberately, and in your favor.